Hi guys. I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm outside on the porch. It's late night. I didn't want to disturb anybody in the house. I do have a tendency to talk loud because I'm hearing impaired a little bit. So, anyways, I wanted to make this video for you guys to look at and just take a couple minutes out and listen to what I have to say. Um, I love your show. I think that the combination of psychology of Doc and the background that work that Alex does and the pre-law Morph and everybody that gets involved in that show, um, you're combining your theories, your thoughts, your experience, etc., to try to profile the suspect in each case. I have former law enforcement as well. I have a lot of training. I'm not going to go through the books. I'm not. There's no need to lie. I've done everything and anything out there. And my primary interest right now is my acting. I've been involved in numerous filmings, movies, TV, background. I've done music videos, you name it. I've probably met that celebrity. I'm not big, I'm not famous. I just like to work on the sets of TV shows, and if I get noticed, I get noticed. When my big break comes, my big break comes. I will be famous. My all my life I've been that way. Um, and with the training and the background that I have law enforcement. I have veterinarian technician. I have motorcycle licenses. I have done stunt driving. I've done chauffeuring, limousine, taxi, police work, security work, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny. I've done everything. I'm a jack of all trades. I have a high IQ. I know I do. And when it's my turn to be famous, I'll be famous for whatever it is. So, with that said, I like to work on crimes like you guys do, and I like to figure things out. So, I was watching your opinions on JonBenét Ramsey. That is one of the most complicated cases out there. Even Doc would have a hard time trying to figure out the suspect themselves, the profile of him. It's hard. I understand, Doc. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you that it is hard to profile the killer because the killer is Burke. The killer is the mother. The killer is the father. The killer is the whites. Then you got these jackasses like John Mark Carr and the other one or whatever. None of them are involved. This crime was set up to make it look like there were 6 or 7 or 8 suspects, like the game of Clue. So when I was in law enforcement, this happened in 96. And I was just getting out of law enforcement. I was certified as reserve for City of Homestead, and then I transferred over to Miami-Dade County in Miami, Florida. And I was doing acting at that time as well. But this case interested me because there was so much about it. One footprint, and the rope and the garret, and she was smashed, and the pineapple, and this and that, and how the drama spread on this case. This was a media frenzy. This was a duplicate of a book or a novel. This was a duplicate crime. This person put this crime together like the game of Clue. You have to be extremely intelligent to get away with JonBenét Ramsey's murder. Now, this is a psychopath. This is a serial killer. This isn't just a kidnapping and all that shit. The ransom note that long. Come on, look at the joke. It's a joke. It's almost a joke. And I'm not picking on JonBenét Ramsey. I'm just saying that it's a joke, that whole case. And the media spread it around and this and that. And now they think that, like, I don't know, JonBenét Ramsey, they're worried about the crab meat that she ate. What the fuck? She was not poisoned. Listen, the girl was killed through overkill. And I looked at this case over and over, and I said, there's only one that can do this type of crime would be somebody that was retired and took their time. Retired and took their time. This is not a young person. This is not a pervert. This is not a first timer. This is a professional killer. in the JonBenét Ramsey case. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. She was killed by a professional that set it up to make it look like 6 or 7 people. So I thought about myself. I said, this is so obvious. It's Santa Claus. Who would believe Santa Claus? And then I didn't think anything about it for a couple of years. And in the year 2000, I think it was. Yeah, it was 2000. No, 2001, right after 9/11, when security was high around the U.S. I went and worked for Nora Programs, which is a company that does Santa Claus to the mall. And I hired a Santa Claus, and he was one of the number one Santa Clauses. He went to this get-together that they had and all this. And they compete, like, who's the best Santa. And they have these code names, like mine was Santa Bert of Florida, FF, because, Florida Dade, FD, I think it was. But he was nicknamed that because there was hundreds and hundreds of Santas. So you'd have to be by your name, Santa Bert, SB, TC, Texas, Colorado, where you originated from and where you worked as Santa. My Santa was Santa Bert, Florida FD, Florida Dade, because Florida's big and we have 19 counties or something like that. And I didn't think anything about that, SBTC, until I remembered the note. And I said, well, that would be a childish clue. Santa Bert of Texas, Colorado, no period. That's the last state that he worked in. You don't need a period after a name abbreviation. So SBTC was his nickname for that crime, and that crime in particular. So I said, this has to be the Santa Claus. He drew attention to himself. He went on Katie Couric. He went on Geraldo Rivera. Why, if you're innocent, go on those shows? Why? First of all, he was tested. His wife was tested. His kids were tested. There's no match of DNA, handwriting, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. I understand. There's no proof that Santa did it. He's that smart. But why go on television and then say, I'm the Santa Claus, and JonBenét, I miss her, and I would never do that, and I don't know why they blamed me. Well, you're Santa Claus, and you were within the house within the last 3 days. They're going to take 72 hours prior and 72 hours after to find out who's around the area, and you were close to them, just like the Whites and just like anybody else that was in that house. But he knew that his DNA was not in there. He wiped her down. He cleaned her up. This crime was set up so good that he baffled the police department and the FBI. There's only one person that was that smart, and that was Santa, because he was putting his face into a psychological profile that a lot of psychopaths use, which is showing off, just like arsonists. They like to start their fires. It's his way of putting himself in a predicament. So he's characteristically Santa. When I thought to myself, well, this killer role played, so I decided to do a little background check on Bill McReynolds, like where he lived, where he had houses, where he taught his military. And I pulled up this whole little profile on Bill McReynolds, his background. So then I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to put that aside, because he's the only suspect that I had in that case. So then I started researching unsolved cases, unsolved murders, and I started seeing other beauty queens, and I started noticing dates that are very familiar with Bill McReynolds. August, his sister died of polio in 1937, and she was 10 years old, and he was 7, and they both got polio. The polio ended up giving him migraines. 99 to 1, it's migraines, and you're going to notice it's all headache stuff in these cases. And also, his sister died, and his sister died at 10 years old on August 7th, 1937. The same birthday as JonBenet Ramsey. Yeah, coincidence. Okay, I don't believe in coincidence. August 7th. Why was she, why out of all the people in that have money in Colorado or around the nation, why did he kidnap a 6-year-old girl from a man that does access graphing? He's not rich. He's not rich. It, same time Ransom movie came out. This guy is playing a character, and he picked her because of August 7th. And I thought about it. So I went back and I picked out a bunch of crimes that I thought this Bill McReynolds would be involved in, as in murder crimes. And this is what I came up with, and I'm only sharing this with you, so please don't give this out to the public right away. Now, serial killers are creatures of attention, but they do the same thing. Their MO, their signature, their victimology has to resemble something from like a PTSD, or just basically they snap. Sexuality wise, like Jeffrey Dahmer snapped, or Ted Bundy had problems with females. That's an example. And most of them are pubescent when they start. Most of them. So I went back to 1945 when Bill McReynolds would have been 15. So I tried to do a psychological profile on him. So he started his killings in 1947, January. I don't know why he picked January, but listen, the Black Dahlia was set up very artistic. Black Dahlia was set up to be amazing, to be artist, to look what I got away with. All the clues in that case prove that that would be his first killing as a serial killer. He would be 17 years old at that time. Doc profiled him as young. So then I thought about it. Let me look up, and they have the Black Dahlia 3 and 4 2 or whatever. So I took those names, and one of them, Rosanda Mondriano, that was her husband's involvement. And then there was August of 47 and February of 48, his birthday, his 18th birthday. If I look at the dates, February 10th. He was born February 8th. He had a birthday kill. It's his sexuality. I figured it out. Bill McReynolds started the Black Dahlia killings in California. Now, can he be linked to that? Yes. His mother is from California. His mother was a housekeeper for a rich man in Texas. They were registered in Texas in 1940s under the census. They got their social securities probably 35 to 40. He could have gotten any name moved in that amount of time from California, which they probably did more census there first. Then when he goes to Texas with his mom to live with this guy, because she's a live-in housekeeper, and he gets another social security. So he'd have many social security numbers and whatnot. So now he's a free man to go out there and do what he wants. Then I decided to look up August of 1951. August of 1951. I know it's a date and it's coincidental, but she was Beverly Rose Potts, Cleveland, Ohio. There were 4 people blamed, and anonymous letters were written to the media, just like the Black Dahlia when they wrote on the body. Just listen. December of 1957, Maria Ridolph. December, seems like he doesn't like the holidays or August, for sure. December is a lot of his killings, just letting you know. In Illinois, so in 1957, he could be in Illinois. I lost track of him for a couple of years, but now I figured out where he was. August of 62, Marion Joyce Brubaker. Listen, This is his. October of 1966, the Sherry Joe Bates, which is supposedly the Zodiacs. It's not the Zodiacs. This was too clean. There's too many clues. Watch left. Drops of blood. This and that. A letter in 1967 with the Z. That's not a Z. That's an MC McReynolds. Just telling you. August 71. Rhonda Johnson, Sharon Shaw. Now, 71 was the same time that the Alphabet Killer was around, and the Alphabet Killer was in New York. Bill McReynolds does have property in New York. His son lives there, right close to that truck stop where those kids were dropped off or something, or one of those locations. I don't have that info right in my face. But then in Galveston, Texas, which is his alma mater, he kills two girls with the same type of name. One of them was Rhonda Johnson and Sharon Shaw, but Rhonda went by Rhonda Renee. RRSS, he is doing the serial killings. He's the Alphabet Killer, too. That just led me to believe that he would be the Alphabet Killer. Why so many and then stop, and then so many and then stop, and so many and then stop? If you look at the Alphabet Killer's pattern, it's going to be Texas, it's going to be New York, it's going to be Pennsylvania, one of those states that he has a home in. November of 1971, the great D.B. Cooper, I think that's him. I think that was in honor of his son being born, his only son, because the older son that he has she had them, the mother, Janet, Doris, by the way. Doris's third son was born in 71. That's his only son, not his adopted. They gave the name to the older son, who was born before their marriage. Whatever his name is, I don't know. And I believe he's adopted. If I'm right, he's adopted. But, because they had to test all three. Why would they test all three? Because they knew that the son was not fully related to the blood or the DNA of the father, which is strong. So, Texas of 74, the Fort Worth missing trio, where a letter was written in pen and then an envelope and pencil and blah, blah, blah. He did that. He did the Girl Scouts, June of 77, Oklahoma. It's him. He wrote it in the donut box. Each crime has a different story. It's so dramatic that they can't figure out these crimes. So I put them all in a box and said, let me see if I can just match the dates and things around here and there. So it popped up. Barbara Nantis and Claire Hugh. One was 78 and one was 84, both in August, both in Cali. Similar to, let me see, what was it? 77 and 78 when Dahlia, 30 years. Oh, he would have been, yeah, perfect match. Perfect match, 1978, California. Reliving, beaten, strangled, breast mutilated, beaten, strangled, sexual assault. They're very similar to Black Dahlia, but like not really. Do you understand? He's putting these crimes all together so you guys get confused. The police get confused. It looks like a lot of serial killers, and there are a lot of serial killers out there, but these serial killers have signatures, MO, the reason, why they kill, the victimology is pretty much the same. Now, D.B. Cooper, there was no killing. D.B. Cooper is another story for me to prove to you. So if he isn't D.B. Cooper, fine. But he's definitely the murderer of Michelle Martinico in Iowa, where another man was blamed, by the way. Christmas, 79. Then there was little Miss Rachel Runyon in 1982. He would have been 50-something at this time. He killed a beauty queen. When she disappeared, August 26. Just saying. Oh, just hinting about the date. I do the dinner detective, and names, dates, and places are very important. Rachel Mary Runyon, R.R. Listen to me. He's giving these clues in each of his killings. It's so obvious, it's embarrassing. The Tylenol in 82, Mary Ann Kellerman, Mary McFarlane, Mary Reiner. his sister died of polio. You suffocate with polio. Uh, that's why he killed it, because he wanted people to be protective of themselves. He's vindictive. He's doing these murders to make headlines so that things happen. Like DB Cooper, now we have strong TSA. Tylenol, we now have strong anti-bottles to get in. Rachel Runyon, the Rachel alert. Put these together. Look at these cases, and you'll see the similarity of what I'm talking. August in California of '84, Claire Hugh. That was the other one that was with the Black Dahlia. Janelle Matthews. Colorado of '84. 12 years old. She was found 35 years later, but her date of birth is February 9th. Just saying, returning from a choir concert. Michelle Martinico was at a concert. Little Miss Rachel Runyon was a beauty queen. Beverly Potts was at a carnival. It's all show and tell. He doesn't want these little girls to be show-offs. He's mad. It's his PTSD. His sister didn't make it. They're not going to make it. Some of them remind him of his mother now, because he is now past his mother's death. His mother died in '78. His father, there's something about his growing up with his mom. Now, his mom died, so he doesn't really go back to California at all after that. Just note that. Texas, alma mater. Missing girl in a Mazda or something with a watch or something. She was at a hospital. Kind of, let me say, kind of Zodiac-ish about that. Just not killing, missing. Jacqueline Dollaby, September of '88. September of '88. September, the same time around the Tylenol in Illinois. She was taken from Midlothian Police Headquarters. And I don't know where I saw Midlothian, but I believe Midlothian was either on one of his background checks or another crime was committed in the same town many years in Texas. I think it was Midlothian, Texas. It just happened to match. That one I'm a little unsure of because of the timing. Now we get to the Gardner Art Heist Museum. They own property already over there. They've already bought property in Boston. That's where they went to Cape Cod after the JBR incident. 2002. They just happened to be in Boston when the Pennsylvania bombing went, which I also think is him, and I think that's his character. Bill is Bill, and that. You'll see why. So that's pretty explainable. This is a crime that heightened museums and whatnot. History. One of his major buffs. One of his major studies was history. The yogurt shop murders. Texas, 91. June of 95 in Iowa, which is another state that he murdered, I believe, way back. Let me see. Just to show name dates. Iowa, I think, was back here somewhere. August, no. Was it Little Miss Illinois, Ohio? I saw Iowa somewhere. Was June of 95. The newscaster disappeared. Jody Sue Heinsertrut. Then, in Texas, January of 96, Amber Hagerman causing the Amber Alert. 100% him. August of 96 in Texas. So this would probably be December to January, which is his favorite time to kill. What was the date? 13th of January. I think he has another January 15th somewhere. August of 96, Catherine Carzillas, daughter of Bon Jovi's tour manager. 2 Ks. No. the body was laid out funeral style. This is the one where she went to the mailbox and ended up dead, supposedly dragged. He could have been, but that's his crime. Then he goes to JonBenet Ramsey, which he puts victory. Makes you think that he's done. He is now done as Bill McReynolds. He died in 2002 on his anniversary while his wife was away. And he cremated. You have no proof of nothing. Just his gravestone. Faked his death. I think he went to Pennsylvania. In August of 2003, he's the great William, whatever his name is, Bill something or other in the pizza bombing. Just look at him. He can do makeup, latex. It's him. Look at old pictures of Bill Rothstein. Look at old pictures of Bill Rothstein, and you're going to see the D.B. Cooper. You're going to see the Tylenol person. You're going to see the bank robbery old man, the art heist old man. It's him. Latex. Zodiac. Latex. Letters to the media. Every one of these is an attention getter crime. They've made it into the books. He's a journalism professor. He teaches people how to announce it. D.B. Cooper. Last night, a man bordering flight number 305, known as D.A. Cooper, hijacked the plane, jumped out with $200,000, and now they're calling him what one source says, criminal mastermind. Okay, now the announcer's announcing off of a script, and they're saying, according to one source, he put himself in the news. Then he wrote letters saying, I'm not D.B. Cooper, I'm Dan Cooper, because he was following the comic. He got pissed off. He's that smart. There's a murder involved in that, I'm pretty sure. But I think because he was 41 at the time, he was hitting midlife crisis. So if you go back to Bill McReynolds' background and he was 41, let's say in 1971 to 1980. From 1971 to 1980, during the midlife crisis of a male, would be the time to be lazy, but to get away with crimes. You don't have money, you feel awful about yourself, starting with D.B. Cooper in 71. That's when the murders stopped. Then he's now trying to be a big shot. 71. At the murders, they did go to 74, but he's doing the Fort Worth Trio. Let's make them disappear. Then in Oklahoma, the Girl Scouts, 3 girls. He's getting more progressive as he gets in his 40s. The one in California reenacting the in 78 and 84 reenacting the California crimes. His flashbacking, 79, Michelle Martinico, perfect age, 49 years old at that time. He's almost 50. He gets away with one of the most hideous crimes that still blamed. That man is innocent. I'm 100% sure. Then a beauty queen. Why not take a beauty queen again? Oh, let's go to 1982 of August. Why? Utah, where he was in college, professor. Just saying. Tylenol in 82. Now he's getting greedy. He's 52. He's very greedy. He's living life to the fullest. He has the money. He has that money from D.B. Cooper. He's got the money from a lot of things. And then he's a professor. How does he have like 8 houses? How does his family get so big and have all these houses on one salary as a college professor? And you all know it was just journalism. It wasn't like he was teaching. He did teach history, I'm sure, and he majored in history. But where is all that money? This is not until the 90s or 2000 when people will start making a lot of money. You have 6 houses. You have to be Angelina Jolie. Come on. Claire Hugh in 84. I mean, I have a whole book of his crimes. Now, he faked his death. in 2002. But he's still registered under Bill McReynolds, age 92 or 94. The last time I looked, it was 92, so that was 2 years ago. He still is alive. Under Bill McReynolds, it's a common name. He could be get another change of Social Security and date of birth. It's not that hard to get a fake ID. So, I also think that in Virginia, close to Pennsylvania, in 2005, Mary Rachel Shelley Carson, Virginia just doesn't make sense to me, but the crime itself does. Matches. Her date of birth was October, and October is his sister's birthday. He's matching it up with his PTSD. Missy Bevers in Midlothian, Texas. The girl killed by the police SWAT man. Nobody really knows because they're holding back information from that crime on how she was killed, but it doesn't matter. It's him. He's 86 years old. He can still be alive and still killing. Look at the walk of the police SWAT man and Missy Bevers. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I think that Bill McReynolds did all these crimes. Now, that's just based on looking at a crime, printing it up, and then studying the crime and noticing things that match. So his profile is that he is just extremely intelligent, but he's vigilante. He wants to get back at his sister's death. That's why all those beauty queens, his sister was probably a 10-year-old show-off. Died of polio. She was probably a singer or something. They were, he got his PTSD from that. And the missing times were right after he got out of the military, so there's going to be no recollection of his address because everything would be private. That was World War II era. When he went in the military, everything gets shuffled around. If you can follow him in the military, and I could do a background check, I would believe he'd be in those states that were within that time frame. But I have done a complete background check on Bill McReynolds. Now, just so you know, Bill McReynolds, this is just, I was blaming him for the crime. You could say that. Yeah, I could make a story up very easy. But I don't. I don't make up stories. I just looked at it. And there's a timeline of Bill McReynolds. He was born in 1930. So before